Hey, GM Pat, how's it going?
Mike, doing well. How about you? Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you. Yeah, so we'll answer this comment right off the bat. Sorry we were late. We got caught up with our other job, one of many jobs that we have. We were in LA over on Pat's live stream trying to get Mike Trout his first World Series ring. And
That's right.
so, as you can imagine, lots of business to take care of there. We had to basically retool the pitching staff, bring in several other big bats,
We're
and
getting
we're
a message
projected to be the best team in the American League. So busy times.
that there's some echo on the audio. I'm not hearing it. Are you?
I don't know. I'm going to try to fix it though, because I want an excellent experience for our viewers. Hold on.
Never mind. He said he had two tabs open, and that's why it was echoing.
Oh, great. Wait,
Thank,
never mind.
thanks for coming clean, man.
Yeah, thanks for getting me off of IT support duties there. I had no idea what I was going to have to do to fix it. Yeah, we were flying from LA to San Juan, so similar
Right.
weather. Similar weather, got to be honest.
And by the way, I guess, because we were so busy flying and we didn't have time to work out any technical stuff beforehand, you're going to be pulling up your out of the park. So I'll keep an eye on the comments, but it's not letting me share the comments like it normally does.
Oh, okay, that's weird. Let me see if I can set you up to do that.
Make me an admin or something. Give me a special duty.
Yeah, first, before I set you up to share the comments, I do think there's something we have to take care of, and that's this right now. Yeah, got to get pumped up every time. Someday I'll redo that, after we've had it around for a little while, like how they do that on all sitcoms. Change up the opening segment a little bit. But
Right.
for now, that's still getting me pumped. Are you pumped, GM Pat?
Yeah, I'm always pumped for a good MLB draft.
Let me see if I can just set this up so that you can. So it says you can see the viewer comments. I don't know. It's not. It doesn't give me another
Oh well.
option, but I think I'm gonna be okay, because I think my setup's a little different than last time. I think I can toggle back and forth easier.
Cool.
So yeah, I was gonna point that out earlier, Mim. We do have very similar offices, whether we're in San Juan or LA or Baltimore. And it just helps us just to have fewer decisions to make. You know how like Steve Jobs or like Zuckerberg, like they wear the same outfit all the time just because they have too much else that's on their mind. That's what Pat and I are up to here. Just keeps things simple. So I just have the same office everywhere I go.
Right. Yep.
So let's get right into some Zephyrs baseball. And I'll tell you guys first the news from the end of the 2021 season. Last time we spoke, we were in a tight race. We were several games behind the Pittsburgh Pirates, trying to catch them so that we wouldn't be relegated. We were the only team really out of the promoted four ball clubs that had a chance to not get relegated. And we fell short. We finished 5 games behind the Pirates. So all of us who were promoted, San Juan, Columbus, Nashville, and Mexico City, all of us were relegated. And every single one of the 4 Major League Baseball teams that had been relegated the previous season got promoted again. So I'm going to go through the 2022 season pretty quickly, because we're projected to win the whole thing and finish in first again and get promoted. And I don't know if you guys want to spend a lot of time watching a team in the second tier. We want to get back to the majors and stick this time. So we've got a team that's fairly similar to last season. Some of the big names I brought in to try at the trade deadline to try to chase the Pirates, I didn't keep. And basically I'm letting a lot of the younger players play right now, because we should win the PBL. And I see it as kind of like a year for some of them to develop a little further and me to see who we have And then when we hopefully get promoted back to the major leagues again, at that point, we'll stock up at the beginning of the season. A good question in the comments right now. This is something I've been thinking about. I think it's going to take a little while. I mean, as Pat and I were talking about just a little while ago on his stream, basically, the teams in this, the 15 teams in the Premier Baseball League, they were formed originally with a draft of any available major professional free agents not under contract with a major league team. And then they participated in the first amateur draft. Tonight, we're going to do the second amateur draft. I guess it's the third amateur draft that the Zephyrs have participated in. So they're still building these teams. I think it's going to be really hard, but over a few seasons, I think you might see some things sort of even out. The other thing I'm thinking of doing is I might take a couple of the independent leagues, like the Frontier League, maybe the Atlantic League. I might combine a couple of those leagues and create a third tier. So for some additional excitement, I might create this third tier that can get promoted up to the Premier League just to make that interesting. So some of those teams are changing each year too. But yeah, I have a feeling that the first several years, we're going to see a lot of the major league teams drop down and get promoted right back up because their farm systems are so much deeper.
Right.
So we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously this year, 4 current MLB teams are going to have to come down again. So we'll see what happens. And it'll be interesting. That's one of the things I'm kind of looking forward to see how long it takes until we have something that doesn't just look like the major leagues every year back and forth.
Right. Yeah.
So,
I think what you're saying is right. As time goes on, like the discrepancy between the teams, I think it'll take several years, but 4 or 5 years. But you'll see where major league teams don't come right back up or promoted teams go right back down.
Yeah. So let me just share my screen. I'll show you guys where we are right now in the season and the draft. It's draft day. So with Pat here as a leading expert on OOTP analytics, I want to get his thoughts on who to draft. Hey, thanks for that comment. That's awesome. I'm glad you're catching it live. It's really fun doing these live. And how did your promo and relegation league that you did off the tutorial, let me know how it turned out and keep me posted on it. If you make it into some other streams or you want to jump into the comments on any of the videos, I'd love to hear how it works out. Or if you learn anything along the way, like that would be useful to know. Like I've run into a little bit of weird things sometimes now. I'm not sure if it's an issue with the game or some things I have to mess with in the settings, but here in the third season, I'm actually having some issues when I try to make trades between the league I've created, the Premier Baseball League and Major League Baseball right now. And when I'm shopping guys, there are some weird things happening. I'll also show you guys in a second. I had something strange happen with the draft too, but I figured out a workaround. So yeah, I mean, we might be kind of pushing the limits of OOTP in terms of what they really designed this for with the promotion and relegation. I don't know. If any of the things that aren't working for me consistently don't work, I may pass a message along to them to see if there's anything they can fix in future versions.
Cool.
So let's make sure that we can get the screen share rolling here. There we go. All right. So here's where we are right now. Now on the side of the screen on your left side where it says Division 1, the entire league is just one division. So we're currently in third place. It's really a close race.
Wow, that is close.
We're a half a game behind the leaders. And look at how close these teams are. Obviously, this is a league where you've got ball clubs with similar talent levels. You have some teams down the bottom that are just not doing well. It's interesting that the second to last place team is the Mexico City Flyers. They were one of the teams that was up in the majors with us. So I don't know what happened, what got them promoted, and then now that they've been relegated again, why they aren't better. But you see us in Columbus, we're right up there as two of the teams that just recently came down. So that's where we are. You can see the lineup. Spencer Torkelson is one of our biggest prospects. He was drafted 4th overall by the Zephyrs the very first year of the franchise before I was controlling the team. They had the number 4 pick overall. We got Jose Iglesias in a trade. Oswald Peraza was a guy we got in a Rule 5 draft. Same thing with Josh Lowe in the Rule 5 draft. I went after some Rule 5 guys pretty hard. The first Rule 5 draft I did, which was in the second season of this team and my first as their general manager. So I went after some guys in the Rule 5 that if I was on a normal, if I was, like if I was managing an OOTP team in normal circumstances, I might have picked up one or two of these guys because they looked so good, but I don't know if I would have been able to find them enough playing time or kept them on the roster for the whole year. But these guys were really good, and I had the space because I just had such a thin roster. So both these guys, Peraza and Lowe, that are now my 3 and 4 hitters, I got in that Rule 5. Austin Hedges, best defensive catcher in the game. So I went out and traded for him last season after some injuries to my already strong defensive catchers, but not as strong as him. So was able to snag him last year. Just recently re-signed him to a 3-year deal because I want to keep him around. He just, we know that catching ability is one of the really big tactics you can kind of, one of the skills you can really leverage as a tactic to try to add some more wins to your total. Rosario, I think he was Rule 5.
Yeah, he was.
Pianza was a either a waiver claim or just a trade. Michael Taylor was a free agent I grabbed for his defense in the first season. So, by the way, Matthew Boyd I got from the Tigers was my number 1 starter last season. Also, when he kind of had a rough year, apparently he's having a big bounce back season and planning to dominate this year. Back down in the PBL. It's amazing what you can, when you look at what guys can accomplish when they get sent down to this league, a level below the majors. So he's put up 3.8 WAR in 13 games. And he's doing well. 0.91 ERA.
Yeah, his walks and his strikeout rates are doing a bit better than they were in the major league level.
Yep, definitely. He's a free agent after this season, and all of a sudden he wants a ton of cash. So
I'm sure
he wants $20 million a season basically for 6 years, and he's 31. I don't know. I actually was thinking that if I can have this team looking pretty good by the trade deadline, maybe I try to sell high on him.
Yeah.
We'll see. So that'll be a decision to make later.
It's interesting that guys, basically, it seems like their WAR, like the money that they want, they're like basically assuming they're that good as major league players.
Yeah, it is interesting. And I found that too, like in terms of, I think it makes the trades in this game a little off. You can have a guy who had a good year in the PBL and maybe get more for him than you normally would.
Right.
So
you need to, it might screw it up some other way. And there's actually a comment kind of about what we're talking about too. It might screw it up some other way, but if you, in the way, you can change the way that the AI evaluates players, and you can more heavily weight it towards ratings rather than stats. So, and it might screw it up a different way by having it be 2 ratings based, but I think that might be what you want to do to fix the trade thing, is just bump up the percentage of player evaluation that's based off of ratings instead of stats. So that way guys' stats in the PBL aren't throwing off their trade value too much.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Okay, I'm going to try to do that maybe. I don't know. Can you do that in the middle of a season?
Yeah, I think that's when you can change anytime. Okay. It'll also mean you'll get less for Matthew Boyd, though. So maybe you wait till August 1st to do that.
We'll see. So I threw a comment up on the screen. I don't know. I'm interested to see what happens. I don't know if guys, since the PBL is I've set as a Major League Baseball caliber league, I don't know that they care whether they sign with a team in this league or MLB.
Right.
I actually don't know, because I've never tried it, if I were to be the GM of like an independent league team for a season and I tried to sign like a major league free agent who hadn't been signed yet or something like that, how hard that is to do. Like, will guys just say, I'm not interested in playing in the Frontier League or something like that? I don't know.
Yeah, I've never managed a team in those leagues.
Yeah, that's something to experiment with. I'd be interested to see what happens. So here are our pitchers. You know, I think we have a pretty strong bullpen again. And we'll see if I need to go out and get some guys. I have a ton of lefties on this team. So that's
it's a very
been
heavy bullpen. Well, 4 and 4, nice. I guess.
What's that?
Yeah, it's 4 and 4 in the bullpen. That's not, that's all right.
And I've got still 2 in the starting rotation. So
right.
So let me show you what I've done, or what's happening in the draft. So we have the 4th pick, and this is kind of weird. I talked about this, I think, in my last stream at the very end. There were 3 different ways you can set up the draft. And it's odd because unless I want to manually adjust the draft every single year, which would get kind of old, you could do it in an Excel spreadsheet and upload it, or you can go in and edit the rounds. I would have to go in and kind of find a way to weight the standings so that somebody who did well in Major League Baseball versus the Premier Baseball League, how do I stack those picks up? And what I did is for now, I have the option. One of the 3 options the game has is just to have it by winning percentage. So the 4 teams who got beat up on in Major League Baseball have the top 4 picks. And what that means, though, is then, like, if you look over in some of the other columns, like number 31 pick overall is the Charlotte Biscuits, because they did, and Indianapolis is another one. They did really well in the PBL.
Sorry, go ahead.
And a team like the Phillies, the Royals, the Rangers, and the Miami Barons, the game rebranded the Marlins as the Barons, they're picking at the bottom because they just beat up on everybody in the PBL. It's not ideal, but this was the one that seemed like maybe the best option out of them. But what'll happen is, if Philly comes back up and doesn't do well in Major League Baseball, they'll get a good pick again. And if San Juan this year, for example, and Columbus is another example, we have really high picks because we just got beat up on in Major League Baseball. We're about to dominate, hopefully, by the end of the season in the PBL, and we will, be a PBL team next year picking while we're in the majors with not a great draft pick. So,
in some ways, and I don't know if I'm able to articulate this clearly enough, but I like it in a way in that it incentivizes teams to try to get to Major League Baseball, right? Because, like, San Juan knows, like, hey, if we get promoted to Major League Baseball, we're probably going to suck next year in the majors, and we'll get a high draft pick. And it kind of decentivizes tanking because, like, the Phillies can't be like, oh, well, we're going to suck and get relegated down to the PBL and then dominate, because then you're not going to benefit from higher draft picks. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's not like a perfect thing, but in some ways it does incentivize PBL teams trying to win and decentivizes MLB teams trying to lose, because you don't end up getting a long multi-year run of draft picks.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the whole promotion and relegation thing totally throws tanking out the window.
Right.
It's cool just because if you did want to tank, you have to tank, but only a little bit. Like, you can't tank so bad that you get demoted.
Right.
Because there's no reward in that for draft picks either. You could tank and say, like, okay, I want to tank so we get a good draft pick. Great. But then the next year you're going to dominate down in the PBL and you're not going to have a good draft pick again.
Right.
So.
You get it for 1 year. Yeah, you get a good pick for 1 year.
So
let's look at the mock draft before we go into the draft. Is that all right?
Yeah. So here's the mock draft. And the first 3 picks have already happened.
Oh, okay.
So
are those the guys who went?
So this is weird. Why is this making it sound like it already happened? I don't get this. Oh, this is 2019. For some reason, the draft log is old.
It says 2022.
This is some of the stuff that there's some weird stuff happening with the draft now. Sometimes when I go in and look at the, but I've done the first 3 picks happened. So I'll have to see if I can find a way to go in and look at who was picked. But the mock draft has us taking this catcher named Jared Jones, who I've looked at a bit, and he has a great bat, power bat.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably not going to be a catcher. It looks like maybe he could be a third baseman.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show him to you in a second. I was looking at some other guys. There's a good pitcher, but he's fragile. So,
yeah.
In fact, it's this guy that's projected at 2 overall to Nashville.
Right.
He's fragile. So, do you want to see the mock draft some more?
No, that's cool.
Okay. So, yeah, like if I go to the scouting director recommendation, he wants me to pick this guy, Jared Bear Jones.
This is the catcher?
Yeah. I'm going to switch to his rating so it's relative to Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
I'm going with my scout.
Right.
Not great catcher ability. But I love the power here. The power rating looks fantastic.
How do you feel about, I don't know if this will throw you off too much, switching the overall potential to numbers instead of stars? I feel like that'll help me.
Oh, in the settings for the game?
Yeah, it's under game settings. If that'll throw you off, though, don't worry about it. If you're used to the stars.
It won't. It's right here, right? Overall rating and potential. You'll put it on
the increments of 5.
Okay.
That'll help me. I mean, overall is like, those are the last ratings I look at, but it still is a good ballpark gauge.
Well, I hired you to help me, so whatever you need to do to make this the best draft in Zephyrs franchise history.
Yeah, I've only got a couple to compete with. So, yeah, let's go back to the continue draft. And
Oh, okay, so I wasn't the only one who had this problem with the draft. Right, cool.
So it's something with promotion and relegation leagues there.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's go back to that continue draft.
Okay, cool. And then I also looked at who they'd recommend as a pitcher.
Uh-huh.
I went through the normal exercise of seeing who they'd recommend at a lot of key positions: shortstop, center field,
okay,
bat. So, like, for example, here's that pitcher who's fragile, but he looks like a good pitcher, a ground baller. He's got 4 pitches. He's got enough stamina to be a starter.
Right. Okay. Yeah, he looks okay.
Yeah.
So can
this is the other weird thing that just happened with the draft. If I use the back button after I go into a player like I just did, it now tells me that the next pick is by Mexico City again, even though they had the first pick overall. The same thing happened to me in the Rule 5 draft, and I made the pick not realizing it, and it went to Mexico City, and then I had to adjust to send the guy to me.
So what does it do? Does it... So
if I go here, it'll be fine again. If I go back to the draft and then go to continue draft, so now we're back. So if I go into a player, I just have to make sure I don't use the back button. I have to go up to the draft again to get into it.
Right. So can you look at the all hitters by position? Because we're just looking at pitchers here.
Oh, you're right. So you want to just see all players?
Yeah, as long as it doesn't give us too many relievers that we don't care about. So who's the second starter? The Alan Patrick? Look at the stamina on this dude.
Yeah.
Not really sold on him.
Yeah, me neither. He's got nothing there that's blowing me away. I mean, he has the 4 pitches. He's got the stamina. Doesn't have great stuff at all.
Yeah. All right. And then who are the other guys up towards the top of the draft here? Who's that shortstop? The Trey.
Oh, this is an interesting guy. I wanted to get your thoughts on him because his defense looks great.
Man, that bat sucks, though, for 4th overall.
I know. I think this is the guy who looks solid in the outfield, too. Yeah.
Man, there's not a lot there for 4th overall.
I thought the same thing. I figured I'd have more to pick from. I really think the guy, Jared Jones, looks like he might be the best pick so far because the 2 top pitchers we looked at don't blow me away. This guy's defense looks phenomenal, but I can go out and get good defensive players fairly easily. I don't want to really spend a 4th pick on
Can
one.
you go back to the profile? Go to his profile.
Yeah.
And just go down the next couple guys, like the down arrow up on top of So I mean, I like that guy better than the shortstop. His bat looks better.
Yeah.
And then who's next? Let's see a couple more guys.
Yeah, I agree. This does seem like a weak draft.
Yeah, this draft sucks.
So.
I mean, this is like, if I was picking like 27th, 28th, I'd be like, cool. This guy might be my favorite so far. Like,
he's got the best combination maybe of fielding ability and a bat.
Yeah. He's definitely better than, yeah. Okay, and who's after him? Let's take a look at a few more of these 50s. That guy's a no-go. No way.
Right.
No. That guy's not terrible. So I think, I mean, to me, between these guys we've looked at, let me see that catcher again. Can we go back to him?
Yeah, we can do that.
I think you got to do your.
I got to do my trick so that we don't have Mexico City steal this draft pick from us.
Right.
So, yeah, Jared Jones.
Yeah.
And I think I'll show you in his ratings, too. I think I would move him. He's got a 60 for an infield arm. You could put him at you could also, he doesn't have great range. Like, I wouldn't necessarily want to put him at a corner outfield even.
Yeah, I don't know that how tall is he? He's 6'4", so maybe he could play first base. I don't know that he has positional home other than that.
I wish he were left-handed at first base instead.
Yeah. Yeah, this draft is not good. But
I like the fact that this guy's 6'4", 215 pounds. This guy's going to be a beast.
Yeah. So where the compare player thing is?
Yeah, I think I haven't done that in a while. Under actions, right?
Actions, yeah, and then compare player. And then pull up the center fielder should be in there in the recently.
Who was that? Drew Jones?
Yeah, I think that's who it was. But then switch it so it's the batting potential, the comparing thing, yeah.
Batting ratings? No, that wasn't right.
Wait, I'm sorry. Potential's right below it. I forgot about that.
Okay.
My fault. I sent you on a bad hunt there. Yeah, this is our guy, right?
Well, there were two. It was either Drew Jones or there was another guy, Ron Jaggy.
Check out this guy's fielding. What's his fielding ratings? I think it was Drew Jones.
Okay.
Yeah, no, because the guy had better.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Wow, Drew Jones is pretty solid in the infield too. He could not. I wouldn't put him at short or second, obviously, but with that arm, he'd be a good third baseman.
But with that range, you want this guy can play center field really well.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. His outfield's too good to use him at.
Yeah.
Third.
So let's look at his bat again. Man, yeah, I can't believe these are the two guys we're looking at 4th overall.
Yeah, I know.
Although, I mean, like, honestly, like, I've had some classes like this in this year's game. And in some ways I like it because if you look at like the potential or like the potential rating and you go after like a real MLB draft to look at like the future value, which is the same thing as potential rating, it's the 20-80 scale, the top prospects are only like a 60 level, right? 50 to 60. Okay. So in some ways it's like more realistic to what we have in real life. That's a good question. I was thinking that a minute ago that is it Trainer asked about what are their asking price.
Yeah, let's go check that out.
I think Jones was cheap. I think he was like 900K, I think I saw. If you go to the main screen, you can see them all there.
Yeah, back at the beginning of the draft, or the
Yeah.
So Jones's demand is $7 million. They say that he's extremely hard in terms of signability.
She said.
Jared Jones. And then Drew Jones actually wants a little more money, and he's also extremely hard.
Tranar is the name. Cool.
Tranar, okay.
So, yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about he's 7.5 million too? Dang.
Yeah, he's 7.5 and Jared is 7.
How much money do we have? We only have 11 million in budget room?
Yeah, I don't get to control my
draft. Right. That's your owner.
My meddling owner that it's set to, and I'm not changing it yet just because I thought I'd go with the challenge.
Shoot, man.
But I mean, hey, how great are picks 2, 3, 4, and 5 going to be in this draft class anyway?
You know what? Somebody said this on one of my streams, and I don't know why I didn't think of it, but I had this problem with my 2021 draft when I had the first overall pick in my OSIM.
Yeah.
Honestly, man, I think the play here might be to draft somebody and not even try to sign him, and then next year you'd have the 5th overall pick as compensation.
Right.
And you'd have 2 first-round picks.
And just hope next year's a better draft.
Yeah, or at least there's somebody like, at least, or maybe at least it won't wreck your budget, right? Even if you end up with a dude like Drew Jones, maybe there'll be a college player who will want like slot or something,
Yeah.
I don't know, because it's not like, it's baseball. This dude's 5 years away. If you wait an extra year, and maybe not 5 years, but like you'll get a major league player maybe in 4 years instead of 3, right? That's not the end of the world.
Right.
Honestly, that might be what I'd do.
Get a guy who's going to be hard to sign. Don't try hard to sign him.
Yeah, I would maybe don't even make an offer.
Okay.
Or just offering an insulting amount.
Yeah.
Which sucks to wait another year to get a guy in your system, but yeah, I think you get I've actually never not signed my first round pick, but I'm pretty sure the MLB rule is you get the pick after when you pick the guy who didn't sign. So like 4th, I think you'd have the 5th pick next year. What does OSA think about these guys? Well, that's relative to PBL, yeah.
There's OSA for him in MLB.
And go to your head scout. All right, so a bit of difference. What about Drew Jones? You hit the back button, don't forget.
That's okay. I'll fix it before we pick.
So
this is OSA versus head scout. Wow, OSA thinks a lot more.
Well, that's a huge difference, yeah. Your scout, how's your scout at scouting amateurs? Is he good?
That's a good question. On the amateur side of thing, I'll have to look. He's a good scout. Excellent.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know, man. To be honest,
Mim brought up a good point. I noticed this when we were in the draft, and I want to take a look at that real quick.
Yeah, I honestly wouldn't worry about that too much. And I know that's because your owner probably set a low budget for scouting. There was, and if Mim knows anything about this, if there's updated information or anything, but somebody in the first month or two that the game came out, basically did a huge study on how much variation there is in the scout's opinion on somebody based off the accuracy. And the conclusion was that the accuracy mattered very little. That basically the difference between if you have low scouting accuracy or high, or very low or very high, it did not really over, a sample of, I think, a bunch of players. I think maybe did the whole draft or maybe like whole majors. I can't remember, but a huge sample of players, like hundreds. And essentially, there really wasn't a big difference. And maybe that was changed in a patch that came out. This was right when the game first came out. But I've always treated basically the scouting accuracy as null because of that. I really haven't paid any attention to it because of that one study. And this was back in May. So like stuff could have changed, but I don't think it impacts too much. I don't think if you scouted this center field dude, all of a sudden your scout would be like, oh, actually he's a 70. I think maybe you might say like, oh, maybe he's a 55, right? But I don't think it would change all that much your opinion of the player.
Okay.
And that could be old information, but that's the way it was when the game came out. A couple months after the game came out, and somebody did a study. And there's a post on the Out of the Park forum that I've tried to find since then, and I cannot find it, but it's out there, I promise.
So until I'll take a minute after the draft and figure out if I definitely want to leave the guy unsigned.
Yeah.
But so for the moment, I'm thinking let's draft as if we're going to keep the guy in case we decide for some reason we want to. I think I'd lean towards Drew Jones, even though Jared Jones's bat is intriguing. But I think I'd lean towards Drew Jones for a couple reasons. One is that he's much better defensively. I mean, yeah. I think with Jared Jones, you're going to end up with a guy with a bat, and you're going to be trying to find him a home. And
if his bat
might only be a DH.
Yeah, and I don't even know that it's bat. Like if his bat doesn't hit like his ceiling, he's not even a DH. He's not good enough.
Right, but Drew Jones looks like even if he doesn't become a very good hitter, you're going to have an excellent outfielder and a pretty decent third baseman too.
Right.
So but I think I'd use him in the outfield, but if he ends up having a bat and you're looking at where to fit him in on your team and you've got a hole at third, you could try him there too. So I think he's the guy I'd go with right now.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I'd pick him too. Unless you're thinking, well, I'd sign one of these guys for slot, right? If the budget, because there's no way you should spend $7.5 million on this dude.
Right.
If you're thinking like there's this one dude, the shortstop is only going to cost you $900,000, but I think you'd still rather have the 4th overall or the 5th overall pick next year.
Yeah.
Than this guy.
Right.
So yeah, the center fielder is definitely the best player to take. I think the only question is, do you want to do something? Would you make a legit shot at signing one of these guys who's more affordable, though? I think the answer to that's no, but.
Right. Because I don't think I'd go that direction. I think because I'd rather take my chances and see next year if with the 5th overall pick, I can get a good guy.
Right.
Because this guy here is not going to be worth a pick that high.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I want to look at the OSA ratings on him, though, real quick. Yeah. And this guy's just going to be a really good infielder.
Right. And if his bat might not even ever develop to be a major league player.
Right.
Like he's got already almost his ceiling.
He's already 21.
Yeah.
The other two guys, both of the Joneses we were looking at, both of them are 18.
Right. Yeah, honestly, I'd probably take the center fielder.
Yeah, Drew Jones.
With the plan of not signing him.
I'm just going to draft him for now.
Yeah.
So their recommended slot is 6.2.
Right.
So.
And it'd probably take the full 7.5 to sign him because his signability is extremely hard.
Yeah. Yeah, Tranar, I agree. I would take the risk too. I mean, how much worse can a draft be, really? Right.
Yeah, next year, I don't think there's any way you'd have worse options for you next year. Right.
It's funny because I was telling you this with the international, with the July 1st signing options. in this same sim last year, the best guy is who I went out and got, and he wasn't amazing.
Right.
So in hindsight, I maybe should have sat it out, but I just was kind of like, nope, I need talent in this system because I have none. So I want to auto draft up to the next pick and just see what we're looking at.
Yeah.
And then I know you might have to sign off at some point here. But
yeah, I'll do one more pick with you.
Okay, all right, so let's see who our scouting director recommends. Owen Cobb. This guy was I thought this guy was actually pretty high up on the board already.
Let's check him out. Yeah, I think he was somebody we looked at last time.
I think so too.
Yeah, I mean, he's all right.
Let's see who they want us to. Oh, now it's doing the Mexico City nonsense again. Hang on. So it won't let me look at my recommendations. I just need to send this video directly to the OOTP tech support guys.
Yeah.
So pitcher, Joe Charles, starting pitcher out of college. So
no, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I like his 3 pitches.
Right.
But I don't like usually, you sometimes see you can get a college guy who can come in quickly and be a really good bullpen pitcher within, sometimes within a year or two.
Right.
This guy, though, I just don't see his stuff movement and control. Like nothing blows me away there.
I mean, basically, if this dude, his ceiling could always improve, right? But at 22, it's not likely. But say he hits his ceiling on everything there, maybe he's your fifth. Maybe he's a 5th starter. Maybe.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what does he recommend for outfielders or something? Oh, and his personality was bad too. I haven't even looked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What about Sure.
Look at center fielder.
Sure.
All right, a fast guy who his numbers aren't bad.
No, he's almost as good, I feel like, as the guys we were looking at in the first round. That avoid K's is rough. That could do him in, but he's not terrible.
So I just want to see who he would recommend at shortstop too. Wait, Owen Cobb was a shortstop. Okay.
Yeah. Can you do the view and do batting ratings? Go to instead
this guy. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Let's take a look at this guy.
The reason I want to look at this guy is because Joey Beach was also the batter he recommended when I had the first pick, and I just said, who would you take as a batter?
Yeah.
OSA thinks pretty highly of him, actually.
A little bit interested in the OSA version of that player.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah.
With that avoid Ks plus the contact, you might have a decent guy. You could put him in a corner outfield position.
Yeah. But even though your scouting rating is a little low, I'd still trust your scout being so good. I've had really good luck trusting my scout over OSA with and you are on OSA's rating now, by the way.
Yeah. Okay.
You can change it on the scout. You can change it on the scouting tab right there.
Right. Who did you want to see? Or you wanted me to sort?
Yeah. Go to the view. And do batting potential.
Okay.
And then just go to all batters for us. Over one. Yeah. And then let's just look for a tool. Like sort by K potential. Let's go there first. All right.
There's our man Joey Beach.
Yeah, how about contact potential?
Jose Velez is number 1. Joey Beach is 2.
Click on Jose Velez real quick.
Yeah, let's check this guy out. Whoa.
Oh, never mind. No. He can't play anywhere in the field, and he's not a good enough hitter. I would say just hit the back button. Well, yeah, just hit the back button for now, because it'll keep us in the same list, right?
Yeah, definitely.
How about that guy, Johnny Placentino? Scroll down. What's the rest of his personality say there? Oh, okay. That's fine.
I agreed, low leader.
I mean, he's not bad, which is about the best thing we can say about most of the players here. Well, he's not bad.
We should just rename the stream "How to Work Your Way Through a Really Bad Draft Class" tutorial.
And I can't remember for how many rounds you can get a compensation pick the next year. I don't know if it works in the second, third, fourth. I don't know if Trenar or Mim. No, I just normally sign my picks. Maybe you just need to punt everything into next year.
Maybe. I don't know. Well, let's figure out this pick.
I don't mind that guy.
Yeah. You want to look at the pitchers again real quick?
Sure.
So let's look at pitching potential.
Let's look at all look at the starters, because we don't want to draft a reliever.
Yeah.
And just sort by potential to start.
Oh, overall potential. Okay.
Is that the top? Are we?
Yes.
We're not in the middle of the list. We're at the top. Just want to clarify.
Yeah. Stuff potential, movement potential, control.
Yeah, man. There's nothing there. Like basically, there are guys who have one decent tool.
Yeah.
Man.
What is up with this draft? I mean, there's nobody who are our highest stamina guys. And do any of them have anything decent?
Hey, you have some guys who can last 9 innings and give up 7 runs per inning here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I mean, even the guys, like, these guys are so bad that this guy looks good.
Right.
I love his slider. OSA thinks he's, like, fantastic.
Pretty good. Yeah, the scouting thing, I'd be curious to know more, because I've always controlled my own budget, so I've never been able to check how much that accurate. Because I mean, with the OSA, it doesn't seem like a terrible draft, right? With your scout, it does, and the scouting accuracy is low, but the only thing I know about that is that it doesn't make that big of a difference, and you should still trust your scout.
Yeah. So this is I think this is all players.
Yeah, but you're on OSA scouting.
Yeah, I just was curious to see who they had.
Yeah, that seems more palatable. A little more what we'd be looking for.
So yeah, like this guy, I mean, this guy has great stuff and a couple of really good pitches here. I don't know if his control would be good enough, but it might not need to be as good. But then head scout, well, not a huge difference.
Yeah.
Although this is interesting. So my guy has him as a 35 potential. Now look at his ratings here. All right. And when I flip to OSA, their ratings aren't so much better that he should jump to a 60.
The movement and control change a good bit.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Movement especially, right? Jumps from 35 to 50. Control jumps from 40 to 45.
Yeah, and the pitches go up. Yeah.
So, yeah, okay. But Mim's saying I have to look back and see how the owner divided up the scouting budget. They didn't give me a great budget for either of them.
Yeah, you had minimal money into scouting at all.
Because I don't control that, unfortunately. But I mean, the beach kind of makes up for it. Being in San Juan, like 9 months of the year, is pretty
Yeah,
sweet.
go to the scouting tab. What's he have? So 21% of your how much? 8 million? Is that right?
Yeah, 8.9 million.
Gotcha.
All right. Tranar said he looked it up. It is first and second round, and you get a pick next year if they don't sign. That's MLB, so I would assume that OOTP is the same.
It's definitely true for the first round in Out of the Park, and he's probably right.
On the second. So this is another one where I might just be able to throw this pick back.
Right.
And then how's it determined where you pick in the draft? It's based on where the pick was?
Yeah, I think it's the pick below. So if you're fourth, you'll be fifth.
Okay. Got it. All right.
You better hope your owner divvies up a lot of money towards the draft next year if you do that.
Yeah, I got to talk to him about that. I got to sit down with him.
Yeah, sir.
So it might not really even matter who we take here.
I don't mind that Joey.
The guy with the bat?
Joey Pusatino.
Oh, I see. This guy.
Yeah, check him out.
You kind of liked him?
I mean, he's got average tools in contact. I mean, gap power doesn't matter that much, and then his power is really good, and his eye and avoid Ks, as long as he develops a little, won't destroy him.
He's already 21.
Yeah, I mean, I think he could be like a fourth outfielder.
Yeah, yeah. With the fourth pick in the second round, we got ourselves a backup outfielder.
Yeah.
That's not actually that crazy.
No, but it's just that's what it looks like his ceiling is right now. It's the only discouraging thing, you know. Yeah, honestly, I might take him. He only wants slot. I don't think he's a bad get.
Right.
What's his personality? Did we look at that?
Unknown.
Oh, low leadership. That's right. Yeah, I don't know, man. I might take him. He could play the corners well, and he could be like, you know, your backup center fielder to give your center fielder a day off. I wouldn't want him as my starting center fielder.
Right.
Because his range is only 55. But he could be like your fourth outfielder who backs up center field.
And what were your thoughts on Owen Cobb versus him?
I like the other guy better. I mean, this guy's got infield range, but yeah, I like the other guy better.
His infield range it's not like off the charts.
Right. It
doesn't make up for if he doesn't have a bat.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So the same slot +1. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Okay. Cool.
I might trade that. I might pick that outfielder, to be honest, and actually maybe try to sign him. Do you want to check? Can you check one thing? Go to the pitching potential view.
Yeah.
And then show all batters.
Oh, you're looking for a pitcher who's disguised as a batter?
Yeah. And then you just got to go back to the view. No, you're on. You got to go back and change it to. It switched it back to batting because you went to batter. So you just got to go to pitching here. Again, yeah, you got to do it. Sorry, I did that backwards. And now just sort by like stuff potential.
Yeah.
And Joey Beach looks like the best pitcher available in the draft.
I know. I was going to say some of these guys. That's interesting. Maybe Joey Beach is the guy to get because he's, especially because I'm a National League team.
Yeah.
When I got promoted last time I was, so.
How many pitches does he have though? Can he start? Go to his. Look. Yeah. Go to his ratings.
Yeah.
And scroll down there. Yeah, there you go.
3 pitches, but his changeup is basically non-existent.
Yeah, no, he's a reliever. Forget that.
Yeah.
Now let's check the opposite with pitchers who can hit.
Okay. So I want to go to batting potential. Here we go. All pitchers.
Yeah, and then switch it back. Yep. You got it.
And then what do we maybe contact first?
Yeah, start by contact first. See if.
Oh, who's this guy?
Yeah, check him out. Those top 2 guys. Oh, Miles Jansen. That was a guy I drafted in the first round as a pitcher.
How'd it go?
He never made the major leagues. Go to ratings. What's his? Oh, he can't really play any position though. His bat's not good enough. Yeah, no go on Kevin Pendleton.
Miles Jansen.
So Miles Jansen is going to hit for no power, but he's a corner. He could be an okay corner outfielder, but his bat isn't very good. As a pitcher, he's definitely not worth taking as a pitcher.
Right.
Yeah, I like that. I like that other outfielder better still.
So let's see. We want to go to Johnny right here.
Yeah, I think honestly, I think he's the guy I would take.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Do you want to sign off for the night?
Yeah, I'm going to sign off. Are you going to stay on a draft? Or are you signing off too?
It's not exactly a riveting draft. You know what I mean? Right. Like, I don't know if I'll stay on and keep streaming in the draft, unless if anybody in the chat wants to keep drafting with me for a couple of rounds. Before you go, Pat, do you have like 2 minutes? I got to show you something.
Oh, Mim said there's a guy named Mike Holden.
Let's go sign that young man immediately.
I didn't see that.
I totally missed it. What position was he?
Yeah, just go by the name. You'll get there.
A lot of H's.
Do you have a trackball? Maybe.
Oh, there he is. Mike Holden. Who is this guy?
Wow, there he is.
I wonder if the game does that for all of us if we put our real name in. I actually don't have my full name in, so if at some point they sneak our own guy in.
JP just joined.
Yeah, all right, well, there he is. There's the guy with my name. JP, season tickets? Oh, absolutely. Ballpark has a capacity of 30-something thousand, and some games we're only getting 17 or so. So, yeah, season tickets or a lot of weeknight games. Plenty of room down here.
What was there? You wanted to show something?
Oh yeah, I had good news for you. I wanted to tell you about. I don't know if you're aware, but as you know, and anybody else who doesn't know, I also run a fake hockey team, and they had a 4-game losing streak. And well, good news out of Baltimore tonight. They managed to knock off the Dallas Stars 4-1.
Nice.
And I just want to show you your boy, the other Alex, had a nice goal on a breakaway. You ready for a highlight?
Sure, man.
Got that one. Let's see what happens. Stole that pass at a critical end of the ice. Alone. Perfect spot. Score. Stuffing the net on Thanksgiving. When you have the puck there, it keeps the goaltender honest. He doesn't know what you're going to do.
Eddie, the goalie can only do so much. He's got too much time to make this wonderful deke, and the shot goes up over top of him.
Cool, man.
He started to lose the puck there, but he managed to get it again and put it by the net. That made 4-1, which was the final. So hopefully the Crabs are back on track.
Yeah, man. All right, it's past my bedtime. I'm heading out.
Okay, cool. All right. I will maybe check out what's happening in the third round if anybody in the comments wants to help me pick, and then I'll probably sign off after that too. Thanks for your help, cool. GM Pat. I hope to get you on board for a future draft where we actually have talent to pick from.
Yeah, that would be interesting to have draftable players.
Real draftable players.
Well, next year we'll have 2 first-round picks, so looking forward to that.
Awesome. All right, man. Have a good night.
Later.
All right, so we should just go ahead and grab this guy, Mike Holden, here in the third round. But I feel like I can't fall into that trap. Need to get us the best available player, not the guy with my name. So let's take a look back at what else we have to pick from here. And Mim says, no, he's not saying he wants to draft Mike Holden. I'm a busy guy. Yeah, I mean, GM of the Zephs, moonlighting as an 18-year-old right field prospect. And, yeah, like the people of Baltimore, they've recovered from the fake Orioles loss to the Tigers. And, yeah, I will, JP, I will have to shortlist Mike Holden. We're going to have to keep an eye on him and see what this young man does with his career. All right, he's been shortlisted. So before I shut it down for the night, let's do one more pick. So did we get our guy? No, we didn't get our guy yet. So hang on, let's get our guy in the second round that we wanted. We'll go to the outfielders. Highest potential. We on the oh, no, we did get him. All right, so we already drafted this guy. I'll auto-draft until the next pick by San Juan. And let's take a look and see what we have available. So here we go. And it's getting thin fast. Let's just see who our scouting director recommends. Tim McHugh. I've seen this guy in other sims. He's not bad. I mean, nobody's great in this draft. Actually, what else does he play? He could maybe, he's probably an outfielder. Not a second baseman, not a shortstop. So that's who he recommends just overall. Let's see. We should look at pitchers. Joe Charles, this was a guy we had before who we didn't think was fantastic either. these pitches are all solid, but nothing here blows me away. And the stuff, movement, or control, like, you'd be nice to have at least one of those be off the charts if the other stuff's going to be mediocre. Like, if he had great stuff right now, you could maybe grab this guy and put him in your bullpen. But I'm just not seeing it. So that's who we'd recommend as a pitcher. I'm this pretty much every time I draft, when I look at my scouting director's recommendations, I look at who they'd recommend overall. Then I check out who they'd recommend as a pitcher if it wasn't a pitcher. And then I really like looking at the shortstops and the center fielders they recommend, because sometimes you can just find guys there who are really strong defensively. And even if it's not that position that they end up playing, they might be able to help you out. So he's a really fast guy with some decent infield skills who can play the outfield too. And OSA thinks a little more of him than our guy. Not blowing me away. I mean, he's not a power hitter. He might be a contact hitter. So how's Dylan compared to Tim in the outfield? So we want to look at Tim McHugh and Dylan Cruz. I think that's what Tranar is suggesting. We want to look at Dylan. So batting ratings. How were they defensively? So Tim beats him on range, same on error, and Tim has a stronger arm. And they're very similar players in the infield. I mean, neither of them turns to double play well enough that you're going to put them in the middle infield. And neither of them has great range for those positions either. And maybe they have an arm that's good enough to play third base, but I'm probably sticking these guys in the outfield. So, yeah, I mean, Dylan's got better gap power. Neither has a great avoid Ks rating. Looks like Tim's going to be a little better versus lefties. And yeah, I agree. Slight edge to Tim. JP was saying, not sure if stats mean anything if you don't have feeder leagues on, but maybe worth looking to see. I agree. Let's check out their stats. Oh, PBL. Why? I need to change this. PBL season stats. I wonder why it's not populating it with these guys should both be college players. I can't remember what's happened when I've looked at this in the past, when I haven't had a promotion relegation setup going. This might be another screwy thing with the promotion relegation league, or maybe I don't have it turned on, because I feel like, no, even if you don't do a feeder league, they give you the stats. And yeah, we might have to go to the list. I agree. So let's go back. Actually, let's go here. So I think I can do the stats here. So let's see. We have so this is all the outfielders that are college outfielders. I don't know how to, I mean, I could just sort these guys based on their stats now, but I've lost my dudes. Who was crushing it? Just curious. Look at that. Look at Mike Holden's on base percentage. Wow, he was. Okay, no, he was. Yeah, his on base percentage was pretty solid. 59 hits, batted 5. He batted 527. Yeah, 37 RBIs with only 1 home run. Interesting. So let me do it this way. Let me go back to the default. We were looking at Dylan and Tim. So if I go into Dylan here, let's see what his numbers were. 2.3 WAR. He was league average. OPS plus is 100. And then, actually, can we go deeper than that? Yeah. Okay. So we've got 3 years we can look at. And he was pretty consistent. Definitely got bigger power numbers as time went on. But let's look at, so that's Dylan. Those are his, I think those were college stats, right? Yeah. Junior college. Or is he a college junior? And then so these are both college players. Oh, Tranar, you're right. I could have done it by doing a customized view. But we can look at this here too. So for some, I don't know if OPS Plus just isn't set up to work in college, or they just, both of them just happen to put up 100 OPS. I don't know. But WAR numbers are much lower for this guy, for Tim. And I don't know how much this tells us. I mean, neither of them was just tearing it up to the level that we should maybe have it be a factor. I think Tim was slightly better in the ratings. And yeah, Tranar, you might be right there, because it seemed like they're just all showing up hundreds. So, all right. So didn't see anybody who was a great pitcher. I want to see if that guy we were looking at before, Joey Beach, was still available, because he actually was decent as a pitcher too. I mean, it's really, I feel like we're probably not going to find a clear front runner here. Here, let me go back. It's doing the Mexico City thing again. If you weren't on the stream earlier, there's something weird happening with the draft where it keeps saying it's not my pick anymore. So, oh, okay. Tim is cheaper too, you guys are saying. Okay, that's good to know. Oh yeah, very easy to sign, and his demand is 40 grand versus 230, which is still nice and low. So I wanted to look at all batters. No, okay. The guy I was looking at, Joey Beach, earlier, must be gone. Is this guy anything to get excited about? No, I'd say no. All right, so let's just take a look at a couple of these other guys real quick, just to make sure nobody's hiding. So there's Dylan Cruz. This guy's fast and actually looks really strong defensively. This guy's interesting. I don't know. I definitely want to consider him. That outfield arm is fantastic. I mean, yeah. So this guy, is his last name Ely? Ely? He's worth looking at. Thomas Keene. Can he play outfield? Yes. Okay. Tim McHugh. I think McHugh might have the most upside with this power, but I want to check. So we've got head scout ratings on. This guy's not great power-wise. Yeah, McHugh wins on eye and discipline, I think. TJ McKenzie. Here's a pitcher, Blake Adams, but nothing fantastic in his basic ratings there. I mean, it's interesting. We're seeing some guys who have some decent ratings on some of their pitches, but when you look at their stuff, movement, and control, it's not somebody I ever see even making a Major League Baseball team. All right, let me go back up here because this guy is interesting to me. So, but Dylan Cruz has much. Let's see, his ceiling's a 45 on contact. This guy's a 40 on contact. I mean, this guy, there's a chance none of these guys hit. So what's this guy's rating? Like personality unknown, has the mental skills to effectively handle big game pressure. We've got nothing else on his personality. Tranar saying Tim has good work ethic too. I find the same thing. It does seem like that does make a difference in potential. But I haven't really tracked it in any sort of, scientific way. It feels like that is what happens. So low for loyalty for Cruz is another interesting one. So McHugh has high adaptability and work ethic. I think it's between two guys for me right now. I think it's Tim McHugh, and I want to compare him with Ely. So, okay. So batting, contact the same, gap power the same, home run power the same. McHugh has a better eye and avoids Ks just a bit better. Contact potential is the same. Ely has better gap, the same on power. McHugh's going to have a much better eye and avoid Ks slightly better. There they are, lefties versus righties. Ely has a lot more speed. And then this is what is really makes this intriguing is that, does McHugh has the work ethic going for him, which is great. We don't know really anything about Ely's personality, but with McHugh, we've got, a little bit better of a bat, but not so much better that it doesn't make me stop and think about the defensive abilities. But I'm looking at it now and, so we've got a 65 versus a 55 on range. Outfield error is the same. And then arm, I was thinking he was much better on arm, but it's only 70 versus 65. And, at the moment he has better ratings in the outfield, but that just is going to come with time spent playing the positions. So yeah. Tranar saying, I like Tim, but like you said, they both may never hit at an MLB level, and Ely's much more versatile with the D and the speed. Yeah, that's the other thing, the speed. Yeah, JP, Michael Geddes, he's down here as comparable players. And I actually have him in AAA right now for the Zephyrs. So and he's been up. Is he up right now? Yeah, he's up right now. And he's been down in AAA and, not doing anything fantastic, but his speed and his defense is just phenomenal. But he has low adaptability and low work ethic. So I think the only thing left to think about is, Tranar, I agree. I feel like Ely's upside with the versatility, with the defense and the speed, maybe gives him the edge. The only thing I can think of where maybe Tim McHugh has the edge is on the work ethic. But I don't know. Something is intriguing. I think I'm going with, is it Jerian Ely, something like that. I think I'm going to make that pick. He's just a little more interesting to me with the glove and not a huge difference on the bat. So, yeah, all right. If anybody objects in a big way to the Zephyrs' third-round pick, let me know now, because I'm about to pull the trigger and welcome Jerian Ely to San Juan. I think we're doing it. How's he so fast at 5'10", 205? I don't know, man. Tim has another year of development, being a year younger. Yeah. All right. Well, let's do this. Let's take this guy in, and I don't think if we do take him, and if Tim ends up being the better player, we're gonna have big regrets. I don't expect either of these guys to really do a lot, except maybe they might be more than a fourth outfielder because of their glove. So neither of them seems to me that they're going to have the bat to be an everyday player. So if they have an average bat, but then Ely has a little bit better of a glove, then he's a guy that might make his way into your lineup a little more. So I'm going to do that. I think this is an excellent point. I'll throw this comment up here. Yeah. At the end of the day, I don't think we're talking about either of them 2 years from now. And this is definitely a thin draft. So even our first pick, we might not sign. Our second pick, maybe we keep him, but he's not going to be anything to get too excited about either. So yeah. All right. Well, I think I'm going to call it a night. Thanks for sticking with us for the draft and for checking out the whole stream. I'm hoping the Zephyrs, we're sitting at 33-24 right now on June 4th, and we're in third place. We're a half game out of first. We need to finish in one of the top 4 slots. So hoping the Zephyrs can get promoted back to the majors. I'll give you guys another update if there's anything big, maybe at the trade deadline, if not at the end of the season, just to let you know what's going on. And, yeah, I agree. This is one of the roughest drafts I've seen. It's odd to me that the draft was so thin. Even, at the 4th pick to not have more to pick from was really interesting. So hopefully next year's draft is better. And I agree with what you said earlier that we could, take the risk, and chances are next year's draft is going to be good. So, Thanksgiving's going to be awkward passing over Mike Holden's 500 plus. OBP. Yeah. We'll see how young Mike does. And maybe I'll come back to him in a later round, but I really appreciate you guys checking it out. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I hope you will. And if you haven't checked out my brother's channel, which I think all of you have, actually everybody's in the comments, check out his channel, pfholden. And I will see you guys here on another stream soon. Thanks.